It is piano time. Let's see, where are we? There we are. Hi everybody, happy Saturday. I'm very excited to bring you piano today. Look, I even have a music scarf. Doesn't it look nice? Well, I am thrilled to bring you adults and teens piano this week. We're on lesson 16. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. You guys have done an amazing job these last like 4 or 5 months. So let's keep the ball rolling, right? Well, before we get started, go ahead and share this video with your network. Just let everybody know that it's time for piano and you're going to be learning some cool songs today, okay? The second thing is of course, if you can subscribe on YouTube, that would be amazing, right? That way, in case you miss a lesson, you can always play catch up on YouTube. Just search for Izzy Chia and you'll find me there, okay? All right. Next, if you want to get like a little bit more interaction with me, feel free to join my private piano group. It's called Encore Music Makers, and I would love to have you. This is where you get to post videos and questions about your music or your theory homework, and you will get feedback from me. That way your piano practice really gets the most out of what we're doing right here, okay? And the last thing, of course, is I am on Patreon, right? So I've mentioned this before. Patreon is a platform for creative people like myself to sort of get a more steady income via donations on a regular basis. It's such a great platform because I offer so many interesting and different things via my Patreon. That way I can build that relationship and keep it going with you guys. I have different tiers that you can join, from $5 a month all the way up to $50 a month, if that's what your budget can support. Either way, I would really appreciate the support. All right, great. Well, we got to get started on our music, right? So go ahead and pull out your books. We have our Adults All-in-One. Okay. Wonderful. And last week we learned about Alpine Melody, right? And that is on page 71. So I'm going to turn to 71. All right. Oh no, is it on 71? No, it's not. My mistake. It's actually on page 69, okay? Page 69. So Alpine Melody was basically giving our right hand a chance to play those 3 chords that we had learned. We learned the G major chord, we learned the D7 chord, and we also learned the C chord for the right hand, right? This was a chance for the right hand to have the chance to play it harmonically, right? Which is playing it as a chord versus playing it individually, right? So with Alpine Melody, the melody was actually living in the left hand this time, okay? So if you're feeling good about Alpine Melody, let's go ahead and get into position and we're going to see if we can play through it together, okay? All right, let's do this. I'll switch to piano view. Wonderful. Okay, so here we are. We are in G position for this song, okay? So I've got my right hand thumb on G right there above middle C. And then I have my left hand thumb on that D right next to middle C, okay? This song does include a little bit of pedal, so go ahead and put that right foot on the damper pedal the furthest to the right, the ball of your foot, okay? Remember, this piece is in 3/4 time, so 3 beats a measure. We also begin piano, all right? So don't play it too loud, everybody. And it does have a repeat. On that repeat, make sure we play the second time both hands an octave higher, okay? Let's get started. I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. little piece. How did you guys do? Did you manage to get through all of the song? Yeah, okay, that's really good. That's great. You know, every single time that you're playing it, you're improving. So if you didn't quite get it right totally, the way that you would want to hear it, that is okay, right? Because you can always play it again or again and again, right? Every single time you are improving. So don't ever worry about that, okay? But I am super proud of you and your effort. So I'm going to say that you have passed the song, okay? So give yourself a round of applause. Super cheesy. You did a great job, all right? Now, we also had another song, right? So we were learning about the middle C position, right? So that was the one where I called it butterfly position, if you can remember. We had both of our thumbs together, right? And then the rest of our fingers were the wings. And we were landing our butterfly on the middle C, right? So I'm going to turn my page to page 72, okay? On page 72, you have a little song at the bottom called Thumbs on C, okay? This is exploring that middle C position. We're very lucky in that we have actually learned all of those notes that comprise middle C position, but we had never actually placed our hands all together in the same area. So let me go over that position very quickly and then we'll play through Thumbs on C, okay? I'll switch to piano view. Okie dokie. All right, so remember, let's make our butterfly. There are my thumbs together, right? There's my wings. I'm gonna land that butterfly on middle C, both thumbs, right? Then I will fan out the rest of my fingers right there, okay? So if you want to hear what it sounds like this. Excellent job, yes. Okay, now that we are in position for Thumbs on C, let's go ahead and play through this little two-line song, okay? It is in 4/4 time. It says moderately slow for the tempo. It's mezzo forte, and it begins with the left hand pinky finger 5 on F in the bass clef. I do notice also at the end of this song, there is a repeat sign, so we will be playing it twice, okay? Let's do it. I'm going to count off, and you play along with me. Ready? 1, 2, ready, play. Now the right hand, G. Repeat. Right hand. Okay, hopefully you got that song pretty well under your fingers. You notice that like that juxtaposition between both of the bass staff and the treble staff and how those notes live in between, right? It's actually kind of fun to experience. So very good on that one too. All right, so we, I think, are ready to get some new music, okay? I hope you are. So I want you to look at page 73, okay? 73, here we go. You'll see a pink box and then a song called Waltz Time, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about what's in that pink box, okay? It says, new dynamic signs. We have what kind of looks like little hairpins, right? Or like a less than sign and a greater than sign, right? And they're like talking to each other. The first one is called crescendo, okay? It looks like this. Yeah, so basically this notation is showing you at the end of the pin, the pointy closed part, you're going to start playing piano, nice and soft. And as you are going across the line, you're gradually going to increase the volume, right? So once you get to this end, it'll be louder than when you started, right? So it could be a forte, it could be a fortissimo, it could be a mezzo forte. It just depends on how softly you're beginning this, right? So that is called a crescendo, okay? Now, it gets really cool here. I'm going to flip it upside down. And you can actually have the opposite too, okay? This one is called diminuendo, okay? Diminuendo, that's like a big word, but that's okay. Sometimes in music classes too, you can also hear it called a decrescendo, right? But for piano, I call it diminuendo just because that's what I learned, okay? And basically the opposite is happening, right? You're starting loudly, right? Forte or a mezzo forte, and then you're gradually decreasing the volume once you get to the end of this musical notation, okay? So that's the idea. You're gonna be adding and changing all of the volume when you see these notations, right? In this really cool song here called Waltz Time, we have that at 2 different points in the piece, okay? So go ahead and grab your pencil, okay? If you are with me on page 73, I want you to find your first set of crescendos and diminuendos and give it a circle, okay? So I am looking here in line 1 and I don't see it. I see at line 2 in that second and third measure, there it is, okay? That's gonna be the first point where you're gonna start this gradual increase in volume and then a gradual decrease in volume, okay? Make a note of that, okay? Dynamics really add that drama to your music, okay? Now, I'm gonna continue looking here. The third line does not have anything written, but then at the end, the last 3 measures of the whole piece, I see another set of crescendos and diminuendo, okay? And I'm gonna circle that too. Awesome! Hopefully you were able to follow along with that. Oh, I see here, Trisha. Hi, Trisha. So the book is called The Adult All-in-One Course by Alfred, and we're in level 1, okay? Hopefully that helped you. I have a link to purchase this on my Facebook page, but I'll drop it in the comments so you can see it afterward, okay, Trisha? All right. So with Waltz Time here, we are going to be in that middle C position that we had learned prior last week, right? So, same thing, butterfly C position, we're gonna have our thumbs on that middle C, okay? This song is going to be 3/4 time, okay? And we're beginning piano, okay? So make a note of that as well. I also see here at the top that we're gonna be in a moderate waltz tempo, okay? So remember, a waltz is a dance, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? It kind of makes me want to get up and dance. You don't want to go too quickly in a waltz because if you did, imagine the chaos your dancers would have, right? It would be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It would just be too crazy, right? So we want to make sure it's a nice moderate tempo so that your imaginary dancers can keep up. Okay, so I'm going to switch to piano view so we can learn this piece together, okay? All right, here we go. All right, so I noticed that the melody, again, is living in that left hand. How exciting. I have my butterfly middle C position. My thumbs are both on C, and I have fanned out my fingers, okay? Now, again, this piece begins with the left hand finger 1 on C. I'm going to count off nice and slowly. See if you can follow along with me reading your music with your finger, or if you'd like to attempt one hand or the other, you are more than welcome to. Okay? I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. C with the third, C, B, A, B with the second, B, A, G, up to B, second, G, A, B, C with the third, down to G, up to C again, C, B, A, up to B, B, A, G, up to B, G, A, B, C with the third. Getting soft. Yes. All right. So that actually has a repeat, but I'm not going to play through the repeat, just so I can talk to you guys a little bit about this. Now, I said the note names for the left hand melody as well as the chord or the interval notations in the right hand as I was playing, okay? If that was hard to keep up, that's okay, all right? Just remember, any of these videos you'll be able to re-watch, okay? So make a note of where you are in your in the video, and you can go back and watch it later, okay? Now, I am going to now attempt this song again, but we are going to say the left hand finger numbers, okay? So if finger numbers are something that you have gravitated towards in your practice, that's perfectly fine. But I like to begin with note names because I feel like that's a little more reliable, okay? But if you're ready for note names, or for finger numbers, then I will go ahead and do that, okay? Listen carefully, see if you can follow along. All right. Waltz time. Okay, so I've got my butterfly middle C position, and I have my fingers fanned out, okay? I'll wait just a couple seconds for you guys to catch up. Okay, now beginning this piece again, we're starting piano, 3/4 time, left hand finger 1 on C, and I'm going to be saying the finger numbers of the left hand this time, okay? Let's count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. 1, 1, 2, 3, up to 2, 2, 3, 4, up to 2, 4, 3, 2, up to 1, all the way to 4, back to 1, 1, 2, 3, up to 2, 2, 3, 4, back to 2, 4, 3, 2, up to 1. Yeah. Okay, did you notice something about that last note of your left hand? Yes. Okay, so it actually ends with the left hand having a tied note on that middle C, okay? So if you see that tied note at the end for the left hand, make sure not to play it again in that last measure. It's a tie, so you're going to be adding the value together, right? It's like your thumb has super glue and you just can't lift it until you reach the absolute end of the song, right? So keep it down, all right? I'm going to actually cross out my tied C so that I don't play it a second time, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about dynamics, okay? Because I didn't actually do much dynamics in it because we were focusing on notes this first time around, right? But that's okay, all right? We notice that the dynamics in line 2 and line 4 are happening in the same spot melodically, okay? Basically, this part of the song happens again on the 4th line. So whatever we learn on line 2 dynamics-wise, we can apply it to the 4th line as well, okay? The only difference is that we add a final chord at the end of the song, okay? So make a note of that as well. I'm going to play through line 2 again, But I'm going to have you really, really turn on those listening ears so that you can hear the difference in how I'm gradually increasing volume and then gradually decreasing volume, okay? Listen carefully. I will switch to piano view. Okay, beautiful. Now I'm going to get into my middle C position. And this line actually begins with the finger 2 left hand on B. And then I have my second in my right hand. All right, 5 and 4. Now, listen for those crescendos and diminuendos, okay? All right, I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. Did you hear that? Did you hear that crescendo and diminuendo? Yeah, let me play it once more so you can hear it, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. Yes, okay, so applying that really delicate attention in how much pressure you're giving those fingers on the keys will really make a huge difference in what kind of volume or dynamics that you're applying to the music, right? Now, if you're working on an electric keyboard, right, that's like not a weighted keyboard, it might be difficult to achieve dynamics the way you want them, right? Because a lot of the soundboards in those electronic keyboards don't have the capacity to handle different volumes based on pressure, okay? But that's okay, as long as you're fully aware of the capabilities of your keyboard, right? Now, for those of you that do use a digital piano, right, with weighted keys, you will be able to control the pressure, right? They try to emulate an acoustic piano as much as possible, and some of the higher quality digital pianos can really, you know, it's very nuanced. You can actually feel like if the pressure of your fingers is appropriate for that dynamic side, it will respond because it's got those capabilities, okay? But don't ever think that it's something that is your mistake or anything like that, right? It's something that needs to be learned, but also understanding the capabilities of your instrument, okay? All right, that was enough for waltz time. We did a great job on that one. Now, let's see if we can turn the page, and I'm going to give you another song. Oh, yes, now this is a great one, all right? This one's called Good Morning to You, okay? And I'm sure we've heard this, right? It's a fun song, but we also have another pink box at the top of the page, right? Now, it kind of looks to me like an eye with an eyebrow that's raised, right? Look, I took my little emoji and I tried to draw it. Do you see his eyes? I drew in some like eyebrows, right? Basically, this is actually a very appropriate emoji for this symbol because it basically means you're going to hold the note under the fermata for longer than its value. And the reason why I say that this is an appropriate emoji is because if you think of something in theater called the dramatic pause, right? You're like shocked or surprised, or you want to hold out something extra long. That's like a theater fermata, right? It's kind of the same thing, right? So say your emoji saw something like shocking. You're holding your breath, right? And that's why his eyebrows are raised. That's the same idea that we're trying to accomplish here with the fermata in our music, okay? I know I have a lot of interesting ways of explaining things, but I like it and it's a lot of fun. So, looking at Good Morning to You, I want you to take your pencil, okay? We're on page 74 if anybody was wondering. And I want you to look through your music, okay? I want you to find the first set of fermatas in your music, and I want you to circle them. Okay? I see one on the last line. There's two right there. And then, continuing to the very last measure, I see 2 more, so I'm going to circle those 2. Okay, let me show you what I did. You see my circles? Wonderful. Okay. Ooh, yes, Grace loves fermatas. I do too. I just feel like it adds so much drama, you know? And that's always something that music is so, like, packed full of, right? Drama. So with Good Morning to You, we're going to be in that butterfly middle C position again, okay? We're going to have our thumbs on C, middle C, and we'll fan out our fingers. And we're going to try and sight read a little bit of this, okay? Let's give it a try. All right. So I have found my middle C, and there's my butterfly. I'm landing right there on the middle C. I've fanned out my fingers, and again, the melody's in the left hand. I mean, talk about featuring the left hand. That's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to begin with my finger 4 on G, and I'm going to be saying my note names as I play, okay? We're beginning with an incomplete measure, so the count off is going to sound a little funny, but don't let that confuse you, okay? I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, play. G, A, G, up to C, then B, second. G, A, G, up to D, then C, third. G, up to G, E, C, 2, oh, B, A, and then there's our dramatic pause. And then it continues. Wonderful. You see what I mean? Like, fermatas are like, you know, when you're singing like Good Morning to You or Happy Birthday to You. Good morning, dear Mary, drama. And you hold it till the cows come home. Right? And then it keeps going, right? Yes. So that's the effect, that's the idea with the fermata. When you see it, you're going to hold it for longer than the value that's written, right? If you want an exact breakdown of how long, I think it's kind of up to interpretation of the piano player themselves, right? Now, let's see if we can play through this one again, and I'm going to say the finger numbers, okay? It might be a little bit confusing on that last line, only because you've got hands playing at the same time, but I'll try my best to say both of those finger numbers, okay? Let's see if we can give this one another try. All right. Okay, so we're in butterfly middle C position. Oh, this is so nice. It's so nice to play in this position. It just makes me happy. Okay. I'm going to count off again, and we're going to be saying finger numbers this time, okay? 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, and 4. 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 5, and 3. 4, up to 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, and there's the dramatic pause. 3 again with the 4, down to 3 with the 4 in the left hand, then 1, and then 2's all around, and then you have a 1 with a 3rd, and there's our second dramatic pause. I hope you could keep up with that. I'm like going a little cuckoo with all the singing too, huh? Just wait till we get to the next one. Happy birthday to you. Ooh, that's going to be fun too. But we'll do that one next week, don't worry. We're going to have to talk about eighth notes. So anyway, I hope that one was fun. Remember, if these songs are giving you a little bit of trouble still, that's okay, right? It's not like you're a professional. You haven't seen these before. So if you need extra help, join me on Monday, right? That's when we practice together. Typically, I do the kids' songs plus the adult songs at the same time during our practice session. But you can tune in a little bit around like maybe 3:20ish Central Time on Mondays here live on Facebook, and catch the adults music. Okay. Very good. Well, that was it, right? We've got waltz time, which is super fun, and we also have good morning to you. They're both in that middle C position. Okay. You guys have done such an amazing job this week. Very, very good. Now, good news for you guys. There is no theory this week. Woohoo! No theory. So that's a good thing, right? But that means that you can spend a little bit of extra time at the piano practicing, okay? All right. Well, one more thing I want to mention here, of course, again, my Patreon. If you'd like to join Patreon as a patron, I would love it and I would appreciate it so much. You guys are the fuel giving this, machine power, right? Helping me keep my lights on and pay for my software and all this stuff. So any little bit helps. I have tiers as low as $5 a month that you can join, and I would love to have you, okay? All right. And then, of course, last we end with our music quote, right? Yeah, we end with our music quote. And our music quote this week comes from the American singer-songwriter, Jewel. And this is what she says, okay? She says, "Some people think music education is a privilege, but I think it is essential to being human." Yeah, she's like totally right. It's definitely essential. I mean, how do you experience humanity's best in art and music, right? It's like that's where we can express ourselves so well. And it's basically you want to be able to provide it in a way that is accessible, right, to everybody, because it's not something that only privileged few should be able to enjoy. Everybody should be able to enjoy learning an instrument, learning how to sing, learning how to play the piano, learning how to express themselves, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, if you haven't noticed. So make sure that your whole network knows that I'm doing this, right? I want to reach as many people as possible. My goal is to bring high quality piano education and instruction to everybody, right? To everybody, regardless of their ability to pay or not. I mean, if you can pay, awesome. But if you can't, that's okay too. I want you to. You're equally as special to me. Because what I want to accomplish is the joy of music in your life. So, anyway, thanks for letting me say all that. I appreciate you guys so much. If you need any help, just drop a note in the group. I'm there. Ask any questions you need. Join me on Monday for practicing, and then I'll see you guys later. Okay? Have a good weekend. Bye.